want to get straight to our top story this hour. The Commonwealth Games Federation has assured the 2026 event will still go ahead after Victoria backflipped on its commitment as host, blaming a cost blowout. Live to Tegan Dolling in Bendigo, Tegan, regional communities have been left reeling after this.
Yeah, Sherva, no one's more devastated than the regional hubs, the 4 regional hubs that were going to host the Commonwealth Games. Bendigo here was meant to have 6 sports, and the businesses, the locals looking forward to hosting, they've just all been left devastated by this real snap decision. They're obviously still going to get the upgrades and the infrastructure that was promised to them, but they say that's simply not enough. What we're also not getting is an answer to the question of how much this cancellation is going to cost taxpayers. Daniel Andrews refusing to answer that in the press conference. We did see a report out today that the potential cancellation of the Gold Coast Games back in 2012 would have cost around $1 billion. That won't actually come out until the lawyers have finished with the cancellation clauses over in London. Now, what they're also saying is that that $7 billion blowout that Daniel Andrews is saying is the reason why it's being cancelled. The Commonwealth Games Federation, it believes that's just a huge exaggeration, that was not going to cost that much to put the games on. But what is an exaggeration this morning, Shervo, is just how devastated the athletes are, the fact that they won't be playing on home soil. The businesses here in town, they were gearing up for a huge tourism boost and a big cash injection too. As we know, the games will still go ahead. The Federation was speaking to a couple of other countries who have expressed some interest from the start of next week.
Yeah, thank you, Tegan. Here's Mon.
Thanks so much, Shervo. Well, now to more on our breaking news, the miracle survival story of an Australian sailor. Tim Shaddock spent 3 months adrift at sea before being rescued by a fishing trawler. He's now back on dry land in Mexico this morning, and US correspondent Miley Hogan was part of the welcoming committee in Manzanillo where he was brought ashore. Miley, wow, how amazing to be there. He's just spoken for the first time.
Yeah, Mon, what an incredible story of survival. Tim Shaddock has been dubbed as the Australian castaway, and you can see there that he's grown quite an impressive beard during his time at sea, which he says that he's not sure he really wants to get rid of. He's also lost quite a bit of weight, but despite that, he says he's feeling pretty healthy. He does have to have some health checks to get the all clear. And of course, this was quite an emotional time for him. During that press conference, he did get quite emotional, talking about some really dark days that he had out there at sea on his own. He had no one except for his dog Bella to keep him company, and he just wasn't sure he was going to survive. It wasn't until that helicopter that was working alongside that fishing trawler that just by chance spotted him floating in the Pacific Ocean that they were able to get out to him and save his life. He was so grateful to the crew. There was a small celebration on the shore when he got here this morning, embracing the crew members who did so much to help him. Here's a little bit of what he had to say.
To the captain and this fishing company that saved my life, I mean, what do you say? I'm just so grateful. I'm alive, and I really didn't think I'd make it, you know. So thank you so much.
Tim Shaddock is a man who loves being outdoors. He spoke about his deep love of nature and the ocean, but says that he is ready to have a break from the water. He wants to go and see his loved ones, his friends and family, so he will be heading back home to Australia when he feels up to it, Mon.
Wow, what a story. All right, Miley, thank you. He was diagnosed with a stage 4 bowel cancer some years ago and put himself on a raw diet. So he was said, oh, look, I was well placed then to then be just eating raw fish for all those months.
What a story.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Wow.
And how much did he look like Tom Hanks when he got off that boat?
He actually is Tom Hanks,
amazing.
I think, you know.
The only thing missing, his dog wasn't called Wilson.
Exactly. But don't you think Bella looked good too?
Beautiful, yeah. Miley got on very well with Bella as well there.
Indeed.
Let's get some more news now. Here's Eddie.
Thank you, Sheva. Good morning. A meeting will be held today to decide the fate of a dingo involved in vicious attacks on Gari. Let's go live to Georgie Chumley in Brisbane. Georgie, this comes after another attack was reported.
Good morning, Eddie. That's right. Rangers have confirmed that the same dog that led the pack attack on a 23-year-old woman who was jogging along Orchard Beach on Monday morning has aggressively approached another individual at the same location. Damien Hansen, thankfully at the time, was holding a shovel, so he was able to scare off the aggressive dog. But this is something that people are increasingly worried about. There's another meeting today being held as to whether this animal should be euthanised. The Environment Minister will be out and about on Gari touring those problem dingo locations with rangers later today. The government taking the extraordinary step of handing out dingo repellent sticks. Essentially, they're just large sticks fashioned out of PVC pipes and a last resort for tourists and people on the island who may be confronted by the animals, but they're hoping to find some better solutions to keep tourists and locals safe. Eddie?
Thank you, Georgie. Harry Garside's ex-girlfriend is set to face court today, a week after being charged with serious domestic violence-related offences. Let's go live to Liam Tapper at Sydney's Downing Centre. Liam, she's accused of assaulting and stalking him.
Yeah, she is, Eddie. These are the charges that Ashley Rusco will face today in court, and you can imagine that her and her legal team will vehemently try to defend these charges as well, because common assault it carries with a maximum prison sentence of 2 years, and stalking it carries a maximum of 5 years. So, as I said, you could imagine that she will try to defend these charges and have her name cleared, just as Harry Garside sensationally did just a few months ago. Of course, this is quite a role reversal for the pair, because Harry Garside, the Olympic medalist boxer, he was, of course, arrested and charged over domestic violence offences relating to Ashley Rusco, the 35-year-old fitness instructor. However, he had his name cleared after he had his day in court. The evidence found that what he provided, the sound recordings and video recordings, they went against the account that Rusco gave of the alleged incident. Now, it's unsure, Eddie, whether both Rusco and Garside will appear here in court today, but proceedings are set to get underway just after 9 a.m.
Thank you so much for the update, Liam. In some breaking news overnight, Donald Trump says he has received a letter informing him that he's a target in the criminal probe into efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Posting to his Truth social platform, the former US president said he received, quote, horrifying news from his attorneys about the investigation. He says he's been given 4 days to report to the grand jury, adding that this almost always means an arrest or indictment. Mr. Trump is already facing 2 criminal trials regarding the withholding of classified documents and a hush money payment to a former adult star. The Commonwealth Bank is rolling out cashless branches with customers unable to access their money over the counter. Let's go live to Sunrise reporter Nathan Curry in Melbourne. Nathan, cash withdrawal and deposits have been scrapped in some of those branches.
Yeah, they have, Eddie. We are getting towards that cashless society, but a bit of a tough adjustment period for people that rely on face-to-face transitions. The CommBank is calling these specialist centres. They're more tailored towards business customers and loans. People will still be able to use the ATMs. We'll chase up more with the bank and get back to you shortly, Eddie.
Cheers, Nathan. Check in with you soon. A growing number of voters are concerned about Australia's migration intake, according to a new survey. Let's go live to Jennifer Beshwati in Canberra. Jen, morning to you. They say the numbers are too high.
Morning, Eddie. Well, 59% of respondents to this poll say the numbers are too high. 29% think it's about right. Only 3% of voters, according to this poll, believe that migration is too low. Now, this follows heightened debate over migration intake, with 1.5 million arrivals due over the next few years, 400,000 of them this year. Now, many voters, they're not against migration. They just say that it needs to be better managed as businesses demand more skilled workers to fill critical job shortages. There is a severe housing crisis at the moment, and many say that there needs to be an increase in supply to deal with this population growth. Eddie?
Thank you so much, Jen.